So today we're going to talk about how to pay a driver to find smoking, hot, juicy wholesale deals for you. So that's the topic of today's show. But before we jump into today's question, this actually was sent in by a listener. I want to remind you to head on over to nolimitsrealestateinvesting.com/script. nolimitsrealestateinvesting.com/script. And there you could download the exact script that we use to talk to motivated sellers, question by question, line by line, mannerism by mannerism, all the tones that you need to probe for motivation so that you know if you've got a deal on your hands or a dud. So go ahead and check out nolimitsrealestateinvesting.com/script. All right, so let's jump into today's episode. Let's play the music.
Okay, my question is, you're talking about driving for dollars, and it sounds like you have that's part of your marketing channels. What do you pay? Like, what's a good pay structure for somebody in that role?
So great question. So first, what I'm going to do is define what driving for dollars is. And driving for dollars is a technique that we use to find some of the juiciest deals out there, right? These are the properties out there that are dilapidated and beat up, and the grass is overgrown. They got multiple cars in the driveway. You see the roof is falling apart. Maybe, they got boarded windows, or you see the newspapers just, gather in front, or maybe the utility shutoff notices in the front, right? Those are like the juiciest deals. And you drive past, you're like, man, I bet that would be a great wholesale deal. Let me tell you a story. I've told this story before, but it never gets old. I was driving past this house in my neighborhood in La Mesa, California. I live on this mountain called Mount Helix. And I'm driving past this thing, and I have this app on my phone. It's called Deal Machine. And this thing just came out in the past couple of years, but I'd never used it before. And this app, I'd passed this house, probably 1,000 times. And I never called on it, but I always thought that would be a good deal. So anyway, I see just an inordinate amount of trash in the property, and I have this app on my phone called Deal Machine, and I pick it up and I just open up the app. I take a picture of the property with the app because before I didn't have it. I just downloaded this thing. Immediately, the owner's information pops up, the owner's mailing address and the phone number. Right there on the spot, I send a postcard just by clicking a button out to the owner. I also got the phone number of the owner, got the owner on the phone. I said, hey, would you be interested in selling your property for cash? Lady says, yes. We go under contract. I flipped that deal for $16,000. Okay. This is the easiest deal I've ever done in the history of my wholesaling career. And I've been wholesaling since 2001. Okay. And so that's a long time. That's 20 years. Easiest deal ever. And that's because of this tool. And I passed this house 100 times. So first, I'm going to remind you to go and check out Deal Machine. I got a special deal for our listeners here. If you go to nolimitsrealestateinvesting.com/drive, nolimitsrealestateinvesting.com/drive, and you use code NOLIMITS. If you download Deal Machine, you're actually going to get a bunch of free credits. You could get a free trial, try this thing for free, find motivated sellers, and really have this thing at your fingertips. You're going to be crazy if you don't download it and take advantage of that free trial. So go to nolimitsrealestateinvesting.com/drive, or you could use code NOLIMITS to get those free credits. So go ahead and check that out. So that's driving for dollars in a nutshell. And so people are, listening, and they're like, okay, what if I want to, do this myself? Or in this case, they say, how do I get a driver? Because if you're trying to do this yourself, it's hard, right? You're going to be driving all day, and then you're going to try to call all day. That's a lot of work, right? So unless you're single and you're doing this full time, it's going to be tougher. Now you can do it, right? I had a client one time living out of his car doing deals, right? So you could certainly make that happen and work after, do driving for dollars after work and do it yourself. But what if you want to pay somebody? What if you want to leverage somebody else's time? I'm going to give you a couple options. First, you have to decide what kind of entrepreneur are you? And are you someone who doesn't really want employees, but would really love to leverage yourself? So the first scenario is, again, this is also going to depend on your budget, but you can work with Uber drivers. You can work with UPS people. You could work with mail people. You could work with people who work for Amazon. And there's these Facebook groups who have these Uber drivers there who you can hire for free. You don't have to pay anything up front. And tell them that if they are willing to take pictures of properties for you using the app, and you would do a deal because of it, you'll give them $1,000, right? And a lot of people will love that. Now think about it. Uber drivers or Lyft drivers or some of these people, they're kind of entrepreneurial, right? They don't like to work in an office. They like to make their own hours. Maybe not so much UPS or FedEx, but especially Uber and Lyft. They like that flexibility. And so they want to be able to drive when they want to drive. So in that case, hey, they're already out there. Let them work on commission, right? No hourly fee. They're already using their gas, so why not? Now, of course, you could work a hybrid model where maybe you could pay a little of their gas, or you give them a bonus, whatever that is. But if you don't have resources, if you're resource restricted, go ahead and partner with these people. They'd love to make an extra $1,000. If you look at the cost of gas right now, it's completely astronomical. I mean, I'm sure they're making some of that back from the people who they work with. But man, they would love to make an extra, $1,000 a month from a deal that they send you, right? So they could download the app, they could take a picture and send you these smoking hot leads. Now, just a warning with that is that, some of these people are going to be flaky, right? So you're going to maybe get 20 who say, yes, I want to do it. And maybe you get one who's going to stick with it. Let me tell you a funny story. Before Uber was out, I actually had someone who wanted to learn how to invest in real estate. And he says, hey, I'll do anything. I said, okay, why don't you hang these door hangers around these neighborhoods? And if any of these turn into a deal, I'll give you some money, right? So he went and he took all these door hangers, probably was like 5,000 I had sitting in my garage at the time. And again, this is early in my career. And he hung all of these, right, for me on the whole entire neighborhood. And guess what? He got some free coaching from me at the time. And so that was a great trade. And so never be resource restricted, never be capital impaired, never let your lack of resources or, not wanting to hire an employee hold you back. So that's the first scenario. You want to build an army of drivers who will work on their time, who you don't have to pay up front, but pay them a bonus for what they find you. That's category one. The advantage of that is that there's no overhead. You might actually find one or two crazy entrepreneurial type who will actually kill it. The downside to that is there's no structure. It's unpredictable. 19 out of 20 people will say no, will flake. And, then you'll have to do the process all over again. Can be done. It will work. Just keep your machine going. Next thing, though, that I'm going to tell you is you can hire somebody per hour. And so in my opinion, a good pay per hour, depending on your part of the country, might be $18 to $22 an hour, right? If you're in California, probably $22 an hour. If you are in Alabama, probably $17 to $18 an hour. And notice that's well above minimum wage. And so I would pay them to go ahead and drive that. Now, very, very important is that you set very strict criteria when you're paying someone by accountability. You want a certain amount of properties that come in every single day, right? That's it. And then you want to hold someone accountable. If they are still hitting that quota, great, right? Keep them on. If they're not, then you got to move on quickly. I'm also going to pay that person a bonus, small bonus per deal. And then also, if I've got someone consistent, after 60 or 90 days, I'm also going to pay for all of their gas, right? So right now, with the cost of gas, I may need to give them some kind of supplement, right? So if they hit their quota, you might say, I'll cover all your gas for the month, or I'll do all that. So this person, if they're working 10 hours, 10 hours a week driving, that's going to cost you $200 a week if you're paying $20 an hour. And if they're driving, if they're driving 10 hours, they're probably using at least two gas tanks, right? So you're probably looking $200 in gas. So you're looking at $400 a week for someone driving $400 a week in gas, and then, $200 in gas and then $200 in pay. So that's $400 a week for someone driving 10 hours a week. If they're full-time, you can see that. But I have found that people love this as a part-time gig. Although you could do full-time if you get someone who is very serious. Just make sure to hold people accountable. Remember, these are smoking hot leads, right? So someone driving around getting you 3,000 properties a month. These are like the best 3,000 properties in your town, right? So keep the quota high, hold them accountable, pay them well. Your people who are with you, cover all their gas so they're not even thinking about it, all right? And this is going to be a great, great, great marketing channel for you. By the way, if you have not downloaded the app, make sure you go to nolimitsrealestatinvesting.com/drive, or if you go to the Deal Machine website direct, just put in code no limits. When you use that, you actually get a free trial and you get a bunch of free credits so that you could use this tool by yourself. I'm telling you, if I didn't have this app, I would have never have done that deal. And I'm barely involved in my real estate business. I used the app again the other day. There was this house, another one I saw. It's on the phone. Boop, did it, sent it to my team, and they're on that phone calling that guy. Hopefully, it's going to be a $50K deal. So do me a favor. Don't get caught flat-footed if you're on the road without this on your phone or your team. All right, make sure it's there. If they see a property, make sure you have the app on your phone. Download it. It's an awesome tool, and it's going to put more money in your pocket. Also, make sure you head on over to nolimitsrealestatinvesting.com/script and download your script today. Keep sending in the questions. You can get me on social media at Todd Toback or email support@nolimitsrealestatinvesting.com, and I will talk to you on the next episode.